Okay, we have another three questions coming up. What is the most important legal advice you would give to someone pursuing an EB-3 visa to ensure compliance and success? And how can I ensure I'm working with reputable professional document prepare employer throughout the process? And are there any
Okay.
recent upcoming change in the U.S. immigration law that could affect the EB-3 program? Yes.
Well, I would say the most important legal advice I would have is to be honest with the person you are working with. If it's an attorney or a company that you're working with to facilitate your EB-3 and they work with an attorney, be honest about your immigration and criminal history and any prior unauthorized work, because you do not want to get all the way to the end of this process and find out that you are not eligible. That is not something that you or the employer wants to happen. So it's better to address those issues in the beginning of the process and be honest with the people who are trying to help you through this process. Um, that's really heartbreaking when something like that happens to someone. But by being honest with your attorney and or the facilitator you're working with, you can avoid and sometimes mitigate those problems before they become an ineligibility.
Right, right.
During the process, there's things that your attorney may be able to do, so it's not a problem at the end of the process. And then also, if you're in an EB-3 unskilled job that does require let's say 1 year of some type of experience, make sure that before you start that process, that whatever that experience is, that you will be able to eventually get documentation of it, right? Because if you no longer have a relationship with that supervisor, or it was the job ended badly or something, and you can't get that documentation, it could hurt you again at the end of the process. So make sure that whatever the requirements are for the job, that not only do you have them, but that you'll be able to verify that you have them as well. As far as working with reputable professionals, I think some red flags would be anyone advising you to lie or conceal information, not vetting your eligibility if you're working with a green card, someone not vetting your eligibility for it and not asking those questions. A company or preparer that's not willing to provide references. So usually these people will have other people who've successfully been through their program, and they will have references for that. Also, like a lack of social media presence of any kind, or lack of online presence of any kind, could be a red flag. Because, like I said, even if you're going to work for a particular restaurant, and maybe that restaurant doesn't have a big social media presence, still the owner is going to have that business registered in the United States. So you should be able to verify those types of things. As far as recent changes, I mean, our immigration landscape is changing every single day, and that's not an exaggeration. So, I would say the biggest things are mostly the time that these things are taking. Be prepared for the vetting process for immigrants and the non-immigrants has gotten very thorough, and also automation and AI are increasingly being used for vetting. So anything you've posted online for a really long time, whether it still exists or not, is fair game for immigration. They're using all kinds of technologies really to vet people and determine their eligibility. USCIS right now is experiencing some record backlogs. So this is why working with reputable preparers, attorneys, and EB-3 facilitators is important, because if you make a mistake in the process, it's only going to make your process longer. And so having someone who's very knowledgeable that you're working with can make that time be the minimal amount of time, because you won't be trying to fix mistakes or have potential for getting more requests for more evidence.
Yeah, right.
Those are things that just make the process longer and longer. And hopefully we're going to start seeing an expansion of options for workers. There's a lot of need for workers in the United States right now, and especially in certain fields that are unmet. And there's definitely a push from employers to try to fill those, as however they can. And so we're hoping that even though immigration has gotten stricter in certain respects, that will eventually lead to more opportunities for people who are qualified to obtain work, employment-based visas in areas where, especially in industries that really need people.
That's great. That's great advice. So thank you so much, Tiffany. Your time today make us so valuable, and I hope our audience, Cambodian people, got a lot of benefit from listening to this interview today. So we hope to see you another occasion soon. So see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.